Okay, I hope we are live. All right. So how many people we have today? Okay. Hi Vishwanath. Anyone? So whoever is in the live session, just put a comment. Put it on comments. We'll start in a minute. If I'm audible, just say hi. Okay. Just pull up YouTube on my phone also. Hi Balaji. All right, I'm audible. Let me also open YouTube on my phone so I can see the how many people are live. So Balaji is here, Vishwanath is here. How's the day going? Good morning. Okay, four people are watching right now. Okay, good afternoon. Good afternoon. That's great. Okay, day is good. So we have five people live right now. Just gonna wait 1 more minute and we'll get started with today's live stream. We have six people. Hi everyone, whoever can see the stream right now can listen to me properly. Just say hi or good afternoon so I can let you know you are there in the stream and we'll get started in 2 minutes. We have seven people. Also, do share on Twitter and LinkedIn that we are doing a collab next live stream today, so more people can join. Let me know where are you joining this live stream for and your name so I can give you a shout out. Okay, so let's get started with today's topic. Today we are going to explore something new which is called a graph database, and for exploring this we are going to use Neo4j and Docker desktop. So before jumping into that, I would like to give you a short introduction about Collabnix, which is a fantastic group, and it's a very big tech community. We are there on GitHub, Slack, Twitter, then many blog websites. Everywhere we have a group for Collabnix, and on LinkedIn also we are there. So to follow up, I would like to show you our 8,000 plus DevOps engineer group, which is Collabnix on GitHub. We have Docker labs, we have Kubernetes lab, we have Docker tools. Also, we have a blog on hash note. We are there on dev 2. We have a Discord chat room, and it's a very good tech community to involve in, contribute, and also learn from each other. We have 1.2 thousand followers, and let me show you our Slack channel also. This is our Slack channel where we connect, discuss. There are like 3,090 people live right now, whom you can ask and like get some support regarding Docker or maybe some knowledge. You just have to join this Slack channel, and you can ping your queries. We have a lot of stuff going on with IoT, with Kubernetes, with DevOps, security, IoT, then cloud also, which is the main focus because everything is cloud right now. Hence, we have everything covered under the Collab Next community. Also, we you can explore the repositories to get help with anything you need regarding wasm or Docker, Selenium, Kubezilla, or any extension that you're looking for. So here's a very short introduction, and I hope you join this group. Follow us on GitHub, follow us on Twitter also. We are there on Twitter as well. Coming back to today's stream, we are going to start with a very short introduction on Neo4j. I'm Abhishek Das. I am work as a full stack developer at School OK. We write educational blogs to help students and to also tell about the opportunities that are evolving, are available to youngsters. So you can also search on Google School OK, and you can read our blogs also. So this is our website to help students, and we are also working on many different projects where we involve AI to support students in their studies or to learn about new opportunities. So we are going to get started very quickly with a new 4J graph database. So today's agenda is to use Docker and Neo4j to run a database on your local system using Docker. And to get started with this, you need to install Docker Desktop on your laptop or your desktop. To do that, you just have to visit docker.com. There's a search Docker, and here you can just download it for your system. If you're on Mac, you can go, if you have a Intel Mac, so you can press the Intel chip download button. If you're running on M1 or M2 ARM series, Apple Silicon, so you have to press the Apple chip to get Docker Desktop on your system. If you're a Windows or a Linux guy, then you can just press these button to get your binaries. So after you download and run Docker on your install Docker on your system, you will be presented with the screen. In Docker Desktop, you can manage all your containers. Then you have images, you have your volumes and dev environments. There are a lot of features that Docker Desktop has to make working with Docker very easy, to build your applications, to scale them, or to monitor what's happening, right? So this Docker Desktop application is built for that. And a very good feature of a Docker desktop app is the extension marketplace, where you have built-in solutions, like not built-in, like ready-made solutions to get something very easily on your Docker desktop. Say you need Grafana, you need any remote application to connect to your containers from anywhere. You can just explore the extension marketplace, and whatever you need is mostly going to be here in the extension marketplace. And before going with talking about the extension, we are going to see what is Neo4j, why Neo4j, how to get started with it, how to you know install it via Docker. So the best way to get started with Neo4j or to learn what it is to just do a very simple Google search, and you will just type Neo4j. Yes, so this is the home page. Here you can get started for free and you can explore what is Neo4j about. It's a very good website, and you can download binaries if you need, or you can learn about the product itself using this website. There's like everything covered inside their website related to graph database or Neo4j. Here you have the Graph Academy where you can also get certified. You can learn the fundamentals, you can learn what is data modeling, you can also see how to import your CSV data from SQL into Neo4j. And we are going to cover everything which is like related to graph database at Collabnix in our upcoming sessions. This is just a starting session to get started with Neo4j, get our hands dirty with a Neo4j, try out something. So we are going to utilize Docker and Neo4j to run graph database on our laptop or desktop and see what is it about, why do we even need it, what are the problems it solves, right? So if you can follow till here, please put it on comment section. Let me know if you are understanding right now, or if you need any help or clarification. I would love to solve that. Okay, is it on? Okay. All right, Vishwanath. So Balaji, okay, Balaji is here. Great. If you have any trouble following through, just let me know via comments, and we'll sort out your queries. Also, I would before like jumping right into Docker Desktop, we also have our WordPress blog where we cover latest articles on related to development, all the issues, how to solve them, or any latest update. You can also follow our website. And Ajit sir has a very good coverage on running Neo4j in a Docker container. And we are going to do something very similar to run Neo4j using our Docker container. But instead of just running a Docker container, we are also going to access it within our Docker desktop application. No need for a web browser or to download any binary. We will have a Docker container for Neo4j, but we will also have access to the browser which we are going to use today, the UI, to work with a graph database and understand it in detail, why is it needed, how it works, right? So let's jump into your Docker desktop, and you're going to see here containers, images in the left panel. You have to just add an extension here, and you are going to be presented with the uh, extension marketplace. Here you're going to search Neo4j. When you search Neo4j, you can see a Docker extension will come up in the marketplace. You can see the screenshot and learn more about the details of it. And to get started, you just have to press install, and let's see what it does behind the scenes. If I pull up the installation logs, you can see it will pull a Docker image from Ajit sir's repo, as he is the maintainer for this extension right now. So let's talk more about Docker extensions here. Docker extensions are nothing but they are just here to simplify stuff, to get stuff done very fast, or to build a ready-made solution that you can use within your Docker desktop, either related to a container or you need a UI. So we build Docker extensions to simplify those problems, because if you have a website, again you will run it, then you have to do some port forwarding. All that issues come to access any UI that's available on the browser. So that's why we create Docker extension to get the container running on a Docker. You don't have to run any commands, and also you will be able to access the UI within Docker desktop itself. So that's the plus point of having a Docker extension for Neo4j also, because it also has a UI. And as you can see the logs here, our Neo4j extension is installed successfully, and you are going to open it. Okay, you want the blog URL? Surely, sir will provide you. Okay, so I'm also going to cover what is Neo4j just coming up. And to learn more about Neo4j, you just have to search Neo4j Graph Academy. So there you can get a free self-paced hands-on learning training related to everything you need about Neo4j fundamentals, and you can learn it in your own pace about the language, how to query the database, or what are the benefits. You can do anything. And Sir has also shared the link regarding how to get it running in your own Docker container if you don't want the extension experience. But before diving into details, we'll just simply explore after installing this application extension, how you open it. You can see that we have added a new 4j extension in your left panel. And whenever you are in any tab, you just press here in new 4j, and you'll be able to access the new 4j browser. Are you any doubts? Please let me know in the comments, and I'll see how to help you out. So right now, what you're seeing on the screen is the new 4j browser. We call this user interface a new 4j browser. And how are you able to see this? Like what happened behind the scenes when we install the new 4j extension? So if you can go to the images section, here we have a new 4j image and a new 4j Docker extension in the images tab. And these two are helping you to get this browser extension running inside the Docker desktop. You can see that we have the volumes also, which is going to store everything related to the Docker container of new 4j. And we'll have a local database running on our system. To connect to your database, we'll just use the username and password method. Here, I'll tell you how to connect to this. So we'll just type here Neo4j. I'll make it larger. You just type here Neo4j as the username. It's the default username. And the default password to access this database is also password in small letters. You type it in small letters and you just hit connect. All right. If we scroll down a little bit, now we are connected to our Neo4j database via our Neo4j browser, which is Neo4j is to localhost 768087. It runs on this port. And this user interface is like mostly sufficient to get started with Neo4j itself. You don't even need the Graph Academy. This If you get to this point here in your system, that you install the Neo4j extension and you open it and connect to the database, this UI is going to help you to get hands-on knowledge with this new 4j database, how to work with it, what are the fundamentals. It's all built in within this user interface. But before even trying out this new 4j database or graph database, we are going to see few slides later to new 4j. So if you have any doubts regarding the Docker installation or Neo4j extension installation, do let me know in the comments so I can help you out. And if you're watching the stream from, do let me know. Let me know what's your name and which city you're viewing this stream from. Let's slideshow. All right. So we'll cover a very short introduction to Neo4j graph database. So in this session, we'll see what is a graph and why we want them. We'll see what is a property graph database anatomy and how to continue our graph journey. So coming to the question, like what is a graph? Like what do you think when you hear the word graph? Is it a chart that you draw like on two axes? You have x and y axis, and you draw a chart, or is it something different? So that's a very interesting question. Like graph can be like anything. It's a like set of discrete objects where we have build relations, and we are going to see what it is. These are all the representation of what is a graph. So you can see in the right side that how we are like joining everything together, and in the left side you can see a city where again a graph is being formed. And this graph has been given to us by graph theory has given to us by Leonhard Euler in 1735, and it has revolutionized how we like look at solving problems or work with problems, right? And we are going to cover this in brief with more speakers in the coming session. So here again, a graph could be anything. It can be the internet, it can be a water molecule. Graphs are everywhere. Everywhere you see, we can find some graph, something related to graph in our real life. Even our brain is built up of graph. If you like go inside, there are like a lot of neurons. Our brain is a network of neurons, right? All the neurons talking to each other, like what's happening, what are you seeing, all the electrical signals are being sent. So that is also similar to graph. It's a graph. So graphs are like everywhere, and it represents the real world. And Neo4j lets us helps to store information or work with data using these type of graphs, right? Let's see a typical flow where we are like buying trainers for if you have a gym application or something. So there we are going to see like how a person buys a trainer, and what is the relation between the person and the product. Here for each person we have a name Allison, we have a person Jane, then Ian, and we have a product which has a type trainers, right? So trainer also has one more attribute, that is the price. And now we want to see how can we draw a relation between them, right? So product is a separate element, person is a separate element, and we have relations between the person and the product. So what is the relation between the person and product? So say we have Abhishek as the person and the product is trainer. We are going to draw a relation that I buy the product. So the relation is buys. And one more data that we are going to add is the date at which I'm purchasing the product, right? So this is how we like draw relations between a person and a product. And if we have a message also, then if I sent on Twitter, then I can say that I love my trainers with a date, like when it was posted, right? And more relations can be drawn in this flow. Then we are going to discuss Panama Papers in our upcoming stream. What was Panama Papers? And how we used graph database to find out the culprit in a fraud case. Here also we can see a sample of a graph. Also, social media is like impossible without graphs again. Social media or your social interaction is like impossible without graphs, because if you see that you want to recommend friends to someone on your application, social media application or anything, you need to have some connection between peoples to show them any recommendation. So here we have so many people represented in a graph, and we draw relations between the entities, like the yeah I mean movies they like Top Gun or A Few Good Men, Jerry Maguire. So we draw this relationships between all the entities. Here the relation you are seeing is acted in, and more relations could be drawn in any direction you like. Let's see at graph components. What are graph components? So all in this graph components, these circles or bubbles which you're looking at are called the node or vertex, and we draw relationships between them. So here we have a car, here we have a person. So what is the relation between the person and the car, or the car or the person? It goes from left to right, which is owns. That Jane owns a car, and we draw a relationship which is called an edge. This line is called an edge. And here you can store any type of relation you want, or you can draw any number of relations to your other entity or element. Here you can have the direction, which is j into car, and you have the type, which is owns, right? Next, we have labels, and you have relationships, but labels is like not necessary always to I mean, defining node is like optional, like what it is. You don't have to define what it is. And we can have more than one labels also, which is say a person or an asset or car. You can add multiple of them. And we're going to discuss more about graphs in details in our next session, but we'll jump into Docker desktop and try out, like, play with it and see what it how far we can go. So to get started with Neo4j browser, we are just going to hit this button. And if you want, you can follow us if you have got Docker desktop installed on your system. You can follow through with me. We are going to just see how to navigate this user interface, at what button, what can we do with it, and how it helps us to learn about Neo4j in details. So here we have in this tab the database information. Here you can switch between Neo4j and system, but system is like we should not touch it. If it's on system, it's better to stay away from it until you know what you're doing, because it will change how your Neo4j is working behind some settings later to it, right? That will be stored in the system. And then you have a home database, that is a default database, which is Neo4j. And here you can see some properties are connected to which database. You can see the version of the Neo4j, then your edition and the name, everything. And here you can store some local scripts to automate. You have basic queries here: how to create an index, how to create a property, how to get some data, or maybe a simple hello world Neo4j script, right? Also, let me tell you more about the language that we use with Neo4j. So, if you're till now in the stream, just say hi or your name also. I would love to know if you're there in the stream. So let's see how a typical Cypher query looks like to query a graph database. So here we saw this example last time. Okay, so last time we had a person and we had a entity. Hi, Usana. Okay, so we have an entity which is asset and a car, and we draw a relation between two of them, which is owning, right? And we also have the uh, date, like year, since when. Also, we can store more properties to a entity or element, that is the make of the car or the model of the car. And for the person, entity, or element, we can store a property, that is the name. You can store age, you can store their address, phone number, emails, or anything. Anything can be stored inside this node. And in the relation that you draw between them also, you can store anything you want, right? So we stored it, but how do I query the graph? So let's see. There are like three ways to query using this language called Cypher in Neo4j. It's a Cypher query language is used in graph databases, and Neo4j is the like early adopters, or they only have made this Cypher query language to work with this database. because it's very declarative, expressive, and it has pattern matching techniques to make your queries easier, or maybe get the correct data very fast, in a very fast and precise manner. So let's see how to use match to retrieve nodes. So if you want to return a person Tom Hanks, you can just run these queries. These looks like similar to your SQL queries, but it's not that similar, as we will explore using our Neo4j browser. All right. If you are ready, let's jump into our Neo4j browser. Coming back to our Neo4j browser, we'll just minimize our tabs and get started with this database as soon as possible. So last time we saw that here we have the favorites where you can store the scripts for anything you like, and it's going to help you to store your frequently used scripts to query anything. And here, if you create a click, then you can access the guide, intro guide, and it's a very interactive experience in Neo4j to learn something new or do something. It's you don't have to type much. That it's like self documenting, right? Here you can get more help related to any key bindings or related to Cypher. It's everything is built in. You don't have to Google much of the time. And the best part is new 4J browser sync. If you have your database running on AWS, GCP, or Azure, anywhere, you can connect using this browser itself if it's living in the cloud or any other system. Right now, we are working with the local database which we installed using Docker desktop extension, which is running a container, running an image here. But you could also connect to your cloud database, and until you don't connect to your cloud database, here it's going to show a red mark. You can also change few other settings related to your Neo4j. You can go dark mode, you can go auto, then also modify many settings to make this interaction easier. So let's try out few commands to get started with Neo4j as soon as possible. We'll press this get started button, and we'll navigate this browser and write some database. Let's learn some Cypher basics. So, coming back to Cypher language, it uses pattern to describe data. We have SQL like clauses, like where clause we have. Then we have pattern matching. You can do full text search. You could also get the data you like, right? And it's very declarative, which we'll see right now. So we'll start by creating an element in our graph database. As per now, if we see what do we have in our database, we write a clause which is match. Inside the parentheses, we press X, then we try to return X. So we don't have any records, so our database is totally empty. But let's try to run a query by clicking here, and you can see it will fill your text editor. This the Neo4j text editor, which is built with auto. You have features like autocomplete. You have code highlight, which will tell you if you're making any error. So that's a plus point of your Neo4j browser. You can press this button to exit the view, like go into focus mode or exit out of it as per required. And you can also see your previous queries also, and we'll close our old queries. Now we are going to create a element that is a person. So whenever you want to create any element, you're going to you're going to specify a name here. It could be ABC or XYZ, right, in small letters inside the parentheses. You can put X also here, and you add a colon. This is a label. Person is a label, and inside that you have properties related to the person. That is the name in key value pair. These are the keys like name, and these are the values like JSON. Here also from is a key, and here it's Sweden, or you could put country also, anything you like, right? You can put country also here. Then we have something which is cloud score, which is an integer. You can have any type of data you like. And we are going to run this query with the create clause. So whenever you want to run any query, you don't press enter here. Yeah, you can press enter here, and it adds a table with one node which has a set of three properties, and you can see how much time it took to run this query, which is only 13 milliseconds. You can explore the code also, what's happening behind the scenes, and you can see the summary also. So here we have created a query with a text create person, X is the person, then you add name and where they are from. Next, we are going to fetch this person. So when we run this query, which is with match clause, here also you can put X, Y, Z, anything you like. Then you get the label, like which label you want. And here we have autocomplete regarding the label. This is a feature of Neo4j that makes it very easy to work with your data inside the Neo4j browser, because it's a very fast experience, just like your VS Code. If you just, it's going to show you the autocomplete. Then we put the where clause and we request the data that we want. So you can either get the complete label, or you could get specific properties from the label. So here we are requesting the name which is ML using the where clause, and we are returning our entity or our element which is EE. So let me try to play with this. Let's say uh, we'll put X here. All right, we'll put X here. And if we press the play button, oops, EE is not defined. You have to change it here also. All right. If you return this, as you can see, we got back our query. In Neo4j browser, you have four ways of seeing like what you get back. You can see the table also. You can see the text also, what is being written, or you could see the code also, what's coming back in the response section. So this is how you get back data from Neo4j. And when you click on it and press this button, you can see that this element has a property, I mean a label, which is the person, and it's storing some data related to the person. It has a unique ID which is an integer. You have the key values stored inside it, and these key values are called the properties of a node. All right. If you want to get the whole data, you can just say X is what you need. Export name. Let's say we want to return all the person, so we'll remove the where clause, and you can see here we are able to get all right, Balaji, let us do explore this. It's really fun, and we are also going to have more sessions regarding Neo4j. Before running this match query, what I will do is just create one more person, which is myself. Let's create one more person, which is me, or let's create by, okay, let's create Balaji. Say Balaji is from Bangalore. Balaji from Bangalore, and has a cloud score of 100. Say 100, and anything more also we can add. Say uh, favorite favorite drink, favorite underscore drink is going to be Balaji, do you like coffee? We are going to add coffee to your favorite drink. There's a key value, favorite drink, or maybe your favorite snack. So anything we can add here. So we'll run this query, and it has successfully added one label, created one node with set of four properties. Okay, you like tea? Okay, okay. Let's go for tea. Good to know. Okay. So we have created this, and now we are going to match the person. So let me try to modify this query here, where we'll return X. Just like in SQL, we do like select star from tables. So in Neo4j, which is a graph database, we don't have any tables. Let me tell you a few difference between a graph database and a SQL database. What happens in SQL databases, it's like your Excel sheets, or it's a two-dimensional data where you will have a row, you will have a column, right? It's like it looks like this, and you will be storing everything in a column, you'll be storing everything in a row. You will have multiple tables, you will have a primary key, you will have constraints on each column, what type of data can be stored. In Neo4j, it's like a schema-less database. You don't have any schema. If you were to add something like to a new column, you want to create a new column in your table, you have to migrate your entire tables or maybe your entire database to do that. Else your application is going to fail, or maybe your database will break, you'll break something. But in Neo4j, uh, you don't have to write any schema, or create any constraint. It's like not necessary to have any constraint, whether it's an integer or whether it's a string. We don't do like that in Neo4j. In SQL, again, it's a relational database, so we can create relations between two tables using the primary keys or foreign keys, right? Say in a table we have the unique ID, then you have the name, email ID, or something. So your unique ID will be the primary key, obviously, but your mail ID or phone number could be a foreign key that you are going to use in your other tables in multiple scenario. So we use relations, right, to get multiple types of data. And what happens in large scale application is that you end up writing such a very lengthy query to get your data using joins and unions. But in Neo4j, you don't have to create any joins or anything to get your data. It's like stored freely in the database. There are like no necessary constraint. Each type of node can have its own set of properties, which will be stored in key value. It could be any type of data. And one more thing is that Neo4j, being a NoSQL database, it's like there's no structure. You can have relations between your data very easily, which we are going to do through this Cypher guide in a short moment. But if you are able to understand up to here, like why we use Neo4j, do let me know in the comment section, so I can understand that you're like getting something in this live stream. So uh, here what we are doing is matching person, and you can see here that we did something similar to select star from some table or something, maybe users table, like we do in SQL. But here we are just returning through the label. X is a just a reference that we need something in X, and here we, after the colon, we add the label which we used previously. So if you we have two Balajis. I don't know why, because we created it two times. So here the IDs are different. There could be two Balajis in this database, but their IDs are separate. One Balaji is from Bangalore, and another one is also from Bangalore. Both have the same cloud score, but one has a favorite drink, which is tea, and the other one doesn't have it as tea. They have coffee as their favorite drink. So we'll also see how to get the Balaji who likes tea, and sometimes who loves coffee, right? Is the biggest question. So we could just put a where clause here, where x dot favorite ring. So one more thing you can see here is the autocomplete feature of the Neo4j browser, which is fantastic. You won't get it anywhere. There's like absolutely beautiful when working with your data. You're able to visualize your data in nodes, and also you have tables also. If you want to see the JSON, you can use it like directly in your application. All the properties are in key values, right? Here you can see the labels that are applied. You can add multiple labels to your elements and multiple properties. It's all flexible, right? Next good feature about Neo4j is that we can also add constraints to your elements, uh, so you don't mess up your database in any way. So you can also add constraint. Being a no SQL data, still you are able to add constraints to your data. So that's a very amazing feature you can explore in the docs, and we are going to cover it surely. So let's run a query that we want the person where the favorite drink is tea, right? Favorite drink equal to tea. Let's see if we can get any data back. Okay, x dot favorite return x. Okay, is it possible to have unique values like other? Yes, you can have. It's possible to avoid duplicate entry by adding constraints to your data, which we'll be covering in our futures, very upcoming stream. How to add constraints to your data so that for a particular field you won't have a duplicate data. So that's the beauty of Neo4j, is to put constraints on your properties also to avoid any duplicate data. So coming back to our this query, we are just written match clause. Match is to get something back. We'll be doing some matching. Matches for matching, not returning. Returning for that, for returning anything, you just need to put a return clause. If you don't add the return clause, it's going to just show a console output. Okay. Um, yeah. Conclude. Yeah, we have to end it with a return clause. I'm sorry. So if you don't return it, it's not going to work. But also in other scenarios, math can be used to do something mathing with data. So here we have Balaji who likes tea, right? So we have the favorite drink, which is tea. And if we want to set coffee, we can get coffee also. Okay. So now we have the Balaji who likes coffee, very unique, right? And if you have any doubt, do let me any more doubt, do let me know. Let's see how to do the next stuff. Also, again, in the Cypher guide, you are going to get all the documentation that what all clause does. So it's a very good experience while working with Neo4j. Like, I didn't use Google anytime, but I was able to understand and implement Neo4j in our production application, which like I'm working right now for a startup. So this Cypher guide has been really useful to understand how Neo4j works or how you draw relations, right? Let's go with our next query, which is to create more data. What happens if you want to create multiple persons, like add multiple persons to your data in a single go? So I'll close all the other previous queries which we created. And to run this, we just click on it. It will fill it for us. We can edit it. And what you can see here is the match clause, which is we are matching the label person. We are putting the where clause where name, entity name will be ml, and we'll be creating multiple people. Here also you can add multiple reference. These are called the reference, JSEE, and you can put anything in the reference. It's like not going to affect anything. These are like not not going to affect anything. So we are like creating multiple people here in the database. And what's something extra that we are doing here in this query is that we are creating relation between the entities. Let me show you in detail what's happening here. So you might be able to follow through. So in the first line, we are matching person where name is ML. Then we are creating people, like adding people to our database, and we have multiple references so that we can use it to create relations here. So from the seventh line, you are seeing that we are drawing some relations using our graph database or Cypher query language. So let's go from the starting. So one reference is JS, who is Johan Sweden from Learn Surfing, who is learning to surf. And we are having IR, which is Ian from England, and their title is author. As you can see here in the query, we are storing multiple types of properties here, and none of the properties matches. Like in SQL, you do insert into table, then you have to specify all the properties, right? Like what all going into which column, what data is going into which column, right? Here you can see that we are having multiple types of properties which we didn't even mention in our schema. We didn't have any schema, right? So it's schema-less database, and you can store any type of property at any point of time. So this is the like beauty of your Neo4j, that we are able to draw relations also, but still there is like no schema. But you can also put constraint like Aadhaar, which is a very good example. Aadhaar ID has to be unique, and we are doing that in production also, in one of our production application. Uh, so let's see the purpose of the reference, right? First, reference is used to get some data back using the reference in our Neo4j browser to visualize it. Next is that to create relation between some data, which we are doing here. Here we have match person who is ML. We are trying to get a person with the reference EE, and then we are drawing a relation between this person and Johan. JS is Johan, right? As you can see here, we created this reference here while creating itself to use it later. So you can see here, to create a relation, you're just going to put a dash. Then inside the square brackets, you are going to create a relation. So this relation here also, you are going to use the label. So this is a label, person is a label. For the relationships also, you can have multiple types of labels. So one of the labels is knows, like Emil knows Johan since 2001. So here in the property, we have the key value since and one integer, right? um, then to Emil knows who? Emil knows Johan Sweden from Sweden. So we are going to use this arrow to draw this relation. Then again we'll be creating one more relation, but here the data is going to be different, which is the rating of 5. Again, different type of data. In relationships also, same thing applies, that there is no schema, and you can create multiple type of relations. And we are going to cover it in detail. I hope I'm not confusing anyone here. And when we press the hit enter button or play button, we are able to add our database successfully. And you can see here how much time it takes to run this query, and what are the nodes created, what are the properties created, right? Now we are going to get some data back from this. Please let me know uh, if you are crossing the stream limit here. Do let me know via comment section. And if you are not understanding anything, do let me know so I can clarify. Here again, we have match. Okay, all right. So now we are going to get some data back from this relation. Here we are going to reference. anything you can put as reference XYZ ABCD, then you're going to request a relation which is knows, like who knows whom. So does this person knows friends, which is element dot name, which is ML, and return their friends, right? So let's try and see what we get back. So when we run this query, we can visualize our data in a very beautiful way. You can, rotate your data and do anything with it you like. You can pull a node here to visualize it as you like it. These are the controls of Neo4j. You can also access the same user interface in your browser, but you have to do the correct port forwarding if you're doing through Docker. You have to visit the correct port and the address also to get this UI. So if you click on any of them, you can see the unique properties. You have multiple type of properties. You have the relations stored in the edges, which is knows, or you can put anything here. And each of the relation is storing some data. Some might not even store anything, but here we have ML and Ian, which is the rating of 5. It could be anything random we are storing, but obviously you're going to store anything with some purpose. So Emil knows Johan since 2001. It's like self-explanatory. Emil knows Johan since 2001. So it's like English only. Then you can see Johan has different properties like learn or something, surfing. And the title also. What is the title? Right. And we are here. We are in the end of the Cypher guide. So in the next stream, we are going to cover the movie graph, Northwind graph, and explore more about our Neo4j movie graph. I mean, Neo4j database, the browser, how you run it, how you use it in production, all that under Collabnix group. So I really appreciate for joining today's session. And if you have any doubt, do let us know in the Collabnix group. Thank you, Vaji. I hope it was helpful. And do join our Collabnix group, or and visit our website also. That would be really really beneficial for you, because we have the latest updates. We have troubleshooting guides regarding to Docker, Kubernetes, new technologies, chat GPT, WebAssembly. Follow us on Twitter and Slack also. Here in the Slack, in the general talk, we can we can talk about any technologies you like. We have so many people online available to uh, answer your queries. We are passionate about technologies, we are passionate about IoT. So feel free to visit our GitHub also. Do contribute to projects you like and use it in production. If you go to the overview of our GitHub page, so you can see Docker labs are available to get started with Docker. These are updated on a very regular basis by our wonderful contributors. So everything you see are totally latest, whether it's Docker for Python, .NET, Java, how to create a Docker image. Everything is covered in details. All the commands are covered in details. So you can learn anything when you are with Collabnix. You can also participate in sessions like this. You can also take sessions if you like regarding any technologies. And thank you once again for joining us for today's session. And I look forward to get started more with Neo4j sessions to help you understand where do you want to use it, or when do we use it, how do we use it in production, how we are using it, implementing it, optimization queries, everything. So that's a wrap from me. If Ajit sir wants to cover anything, let's do it.
Yeah, thanks Abhishek for this interesting and exciting topic. And I could see there are a lot of queries which you have already answered, and few of them I have answered in the chat window. So with this, we will be wrapping up this particular event, and then in the next topic, we'll bring you more exciting Docker and Kubernetes specific tools. Thanks, Abhishek, once again, and thank you all for joining us.
Thank you all. Thank you, sir. Have a great day.